to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
"30 years of joyfulness." Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM and Hits 103.9 FM here in Accra. We are on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, myjoyonline.com, and affiliates in all 16 regions of Ghana, including Victory FM Aflao, Radio Justice Tamale, and Dreams FM Bogatanga, live on X Spaces and Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrosol Platinum Energy, energizing dreams. Coming up, Iyoko turns his investigative guns on embattled Springfield Group over its dealings with a bulk oil storage and transportation company bust, with investigative agencies saying the deal is explosive and has an immediate impact on the economy. We have details, plus we'll tell you what we know about reports that CEO of Springfield Group, Kevin Ofori, may have been arrested by Dubai authorities. Also coming up this afternoon, Lightwave e-Healthcare Solutions Limited describes as misleading claims by the health minister that they have been overpaid for the work done by Ghana's National e-Healthcare Program and the Lightwave Health Information Management System, LIMS. Also, more as they accuse the Ministry of conducting an audit of their work at both health facilities without prior knowledge. We also have sports.
Aduana FC chased first trophy in 8 years after going top of the Ghana Premier League.
We'll bring you details of the sports news later. Also coming up in the bulletin, Bank of Ghana is set to post its higher dollar injections this year, with data tracked by Johnny's research indicating that total forex interventions in the first quarter alone are projected to surpass $2 billion. We'll tell you how the Bank of Ghana's interventions have reached $11 billion since the financial crisis in 2022.
Because the challenge is how many students are there with a public tertiary education. So standards will not be compromised, but I think that we should allow them time and space to justify.
Education Ministry to amend Ghana Tertiary Education Commission Act to hold GTEC's move to shut down universities operating without presidential charter to allow the schools more time to do the needful. Details as he reveals GTEC's governing board is currently reviewing a number of queries into the use of educational titles across the country.
A number of it will refer to council, and they are looking at it. I'm awaiting a report from the GTEC council for a briefing. Then I'll come back to this house if you so desire.
And in NSMQ, reigning champions in the Fansipim School brushes aside GSTS and Mankraso SHS to move a step closer to securing back-to-back glory at the National Science and Maths Quiz Competition.
My midpoint is the center. Yes, Benjamin.
The diameter.
Yes.
We have details of that coming up. These and more with me, Pearl Ofori. This is Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible. This afternoon, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, says it is investigating an explosive and economy-impacting deal between the state-owned Bust and Springfield Group. This revelation comes on the back of recent reports that CEO of Springfield Group, Kevin Ofori, has been arrested and detained in Dubai by authorities there. A member of our legal desk team, Kwekwa Sente, has been doing some checks and is in the studio with me with details. Kwekwa, before we get into what we know about this supposed arrest, tell us about EOCO's investigations.
So this weekend, as the reports became very rife that the Springfield Group CEO, Kevin Ofori, may have been arrested and detained in Dubai because of certain investigation that Yoko had refused to do by virtue of some petition they had received. they put out a public statement addressing the specifics and said that contrary to reports that have been made, YOCO actually has 2 active investigations involving Springfield Energy. The first is a petition against Springfield Energy, and the second is an explosive case between BOST and Springfield Energy. And it is the policy directive of the leadership of YOCO that investigation must precede an arrest and not the reverse, and wish to emphasize that the case involving BOST and Springfield is of priority to YOCO, as it has immediate impact on BOST's financial situation and the local economy. YOCO does not give details of this investigation and why this matter is set high on the agenda, or what exactly the update is as we speak, but they say, and in their words, quote, explosive investigation they are conducting into this matter.
Do we know if YOCO's current or previous management has responded to this?
So, BOST, actually, we reached out to the previous leadership because the indication we are getting from YOCO is that the deal in reference was done under the previous leadership of BOST. We reached out to them. The comments that came was that they have nothing to tell us on the specifics of this investigation that is being conducted by YOCO, and that we should reach out to the current management. We did reach out to the current management also, and they say that they are cooperating with YOCO on this matter. As far as they are concerned, YOCO will do its work, and when YOCO decides to put out certain public information, they will, and they are tight-lipped about the situation.
Has there been any confirmation of this supposed arrest of Mr. Kevin Ochre?
So that information became public on Saturday. Since then, YOCO has put out this statement. YOCO does not confirm or deny that, obviously because it perhaps is not in their domain to do so. I have sent emails to Ghana's consulate in Dubai. We have also sent an email to the embassy in Abu Dhabi, UAE generally. They've all refused to give us any word on this matter. We have also reached out to the company at the center of this, Springfield Energy. They are going to put out a public release. And so the theme that cuts across is that no one is willing to confirm if Mr. Kevin Ochre has been arrested and detained in Dubai for whatever reason. However, one thing that sticks out is that there is no denial. No one is also denying that Mr. Kevin Ochre may have been detained on some reports that have been made by his colleague investors to the authorities in Dubai. And that is a very fine sticking point on this matter. There is no confirmation, but there is also no denial. And so we expect a press release in the coming hours or perhaps tomorrow from Springfield Energy on what we are hearing on this matter.
And Kweku, of course, we'll be keeping an eye on it and updating our listeners as and when we get them. Kweku Asante is a member of our legal desk at Joy News. Thank you very much for that update. Let's move on to other stories now. Lightwave E-Healthcare Solutions Limited has accused the Ministry of Health of conducting an audit of its work in health facilities across the country without informing them. Managers of the electronic healthcare system used to digitize patient records have also dismissed claims that they have been overpaid for their work. This comes after the Health Minister, Kwabena Minta Kando, accused Lightwave of underperformance and alleged that the vendor deliberately disrupted the system recently across government health facilities to blackmail the government. But in an exclusive interview with Kojo Youngson, Senior Project Manager at Lightwave E-Healthcare Solutions, Erica J. explained that the claims are untrue, adding the ministry wanted a back end to a data, a request that was not part of the initial agreement.
If your media team would go to any hospital that is running, any hospital, and you ask them to give you, that is using the Lightwave and they are working, and ask them to give you your medical records, and they tell you they are unable to, let us know, because it's there, they do it every time. So I don't know which data the minister refers to. If it is about the source code, which came up in the meeting we had on September 3rd, that is Lightwave intellectual property. It does not belong to the ministry or the government of Ghana. But the data that the system used, the system used in collecting, that data is for the ministry and for the government of Ghana. And if you are talking of the back end and you come and say you want the source code, meaning if you push Lightwave out with that information or that source code that you have, you'll be able to deploy the Lightwave system in other facilities. But that is not part of the ministry's agreement that we signed with them.
He further clarified that the firm does not own or control the health data generated through its digital platform, despite claims by the minister.
We prepared and shared the invoice, and it's as if you have hit the thigh of an elephant. We sent the invoice and no feedback, nothing, not even an acknowledgement of receipt of the invoice and that we are working on it. So we felt, okay, if these integrations are not part of the process, then we will take the integrations down. So, and those ones are not per facility because these are done at the high level. So immediately those integrations went off. I think some of the facilities have the IT managers have the idea of notion, the only means by which Lightwave could come to our facility remotely will be through the wide area connections that they have done. So then let's disconnect the wide area connections and be able to use the systems without Lightwave being able to. So if someone sits or stands anywhere to say that Lightwave has disconnected, it's surprising, because as we speak, the facilities that maintain connectivity are working. We have about 113 child facilities that are working. We have about 98 government hospitals that are working.
Mr. Ajay also accused the Ministry of conducting an audit of their work at government health facilities without their prior knowledge.
We've got several calls that people have come to their facilities and are representing as Lightwave. And I said, we haven't sent anybody, because if we have to go to any facility to do work, there are protocols that we follow. Then so they send them back, because initially these people have told them they were from Lightwave. So it was in one such occasion, and when I received a call, and I told whoever was on the other side, which I think would be, there was a number on that letter, which is the attorney for the Ministry of Health. So there was a three-way conversation, and I told this person, since you don't know the people that are even going to the facilities, if you know them, it is better to have their names and phone numbers added to your letter to the region, so that they will know that these people are from the Ministry of Health. Because if they parade as Lightwave staff, then it is like people trying to impersonate Lightwave staff to gain access to
that. Is serious. I mean, is that what you're saying, that the government and its representatives impersonated Lightwave to gain access to
that was the
facilities?
That was the initial report that we received.
Let's now go on the phone lines and speak to Kwame Saponesiedu. He's the Democracy and Development Fellow, Health at CDD Ghana. Good afternoon. Thank you for your time on the Midday News. First of all, I'd like to get your reaction to the saga between Lightwave and the Health Ministry and how this can affect the nation's healthcare system.
Okay, thank you. And good afternoon. The problem is pretty straightforward, and I've reiterated it even to the representative of Lightwave last week. The basic problem is when you create monopolies, these tangles happen because the state doesn't have any redundancy when it comes to IT provision to the hospitals and other things. There are a number of issues that have come up. The first one is that there has been an audit and Lightwave was not aware. Two things for me. If there has been impersonation, then that is wrong. But let's be clear. Health data is national security data, because it contains, entire health page record, so many things, disease rates, prevalence rates, medicines use, things like medical geography information and all that. That is national security information, and it's owned by the state. So the state has every right to audit right from the data controller, which is the hospitals, to the data itself, to the data processor as well, which is Lightwave. So there is no problem with the state doing an audit. That is actually allowed, and it often happens globally. And we need to be clear about that. The only gray area would be if, during the audit, Lightwave, as they are saying, were impersonated. But the audit, they cannot run away from it because they are not the data owners.
But Lightwave says the audit was done without their prior knowledge.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying, because it's national security information. National security, when the CID is investigating or Yoko, would they come and tell you they are investigating? Wouldn't you cover your tracks? That's national security information. That's what I'm saying. If there was impersonation, that is wrong. But nobody should delude himself that the state doesn't have a right to investigate from the data controller or even from the data subject, which is the patient, right through the data controller, through the data processor, which is Lightwave, to the data owner, which is the state. The law allows them to investigate end to end. And if you realize that even the ministry, the communications ministry, has issued a statement to say that they are looking into possible data protection breaches. Could this have been coming from the investigation that was done? So if there has been impersonation, then yes, obviously that's wrong. But nobody should confuse and say that the government or by default the state called Ghana, irrespective of who is in government, doesn't have the right to audit how our data is collected.
And probably my last question to you. So Ghana's health sector often sees new programs introduced by successive ministers or administrations. How can we ensure continuity and avoid wastage when governments change?
That is exactly the point I made. And I have told most people who would listen, and including Lightwave, how it's done globally is what we call the middleware or the MEF is owned by the state. It is normally done on what we call a build, operate, and transfer model. That is exactly what Lightwave did as well. So the middle MEF, even for the lanes, is owned by the state. Lightwave was supposed to transfer that to the state before the end of the contract. So even then, I'm struggling based on what I know about the contract to say that there's an issue, because that fundamentally the middleware and the data is not owned by Lightwave. They cannot own it. Our law doesn't allow it.
Kwame Sapon-Siedu, Democracy and Development Fellow Health at CDD Ghana. Thank you so much for speaking to us on the Midday News. Let's bring you other stories. And the Bank of Ghana is on course to post its biggest dollar injections this year, with data tracked by Johnny's research showing that foreign exchange interventions in the final quarter alone could top $2 billion. The central bank's latest move, a $1 billion injection planned for November under its revised foreign exchange intermediation program, pushes its total interventions since the 2022 financial crisis to about $11 billion. The central bank says the move is part of a broader effort to enhance market efficiency, improve price discovery, and smooth volatility in the interbank market. There is more in the following report by Joy News Research.
Bank of Ghana is set to step into the forex market again with about $1 billion in planned dollar injections this month. According to notice to participating banks, the Apex Bank will auction about $300 million twice a week throughout November 2025. The sale will be conducted on a spot basis and open to all licensed commercial banks, with subsequent monthly volumes determined by market conditions. This follows October's planned injection of $1.15 billion, which analysts say was key to the cedi's 13.9% appreciation.
And when joined in the studio by Head of Research here at Joy News, Isaac Kufije. Isaac, tell me more about the dollar injections since 2022.
Well, so you had it right there. Dollar injections to save the cedi since 2022 crisis year is now hovering above $11 billion. And per the data we've been tracking, that includes about 1.9 billion in injection in 2022, 1.1 billion in 2023, 3 billion in 2024, and this year, per what we have seen so far, we can confidently say that this could be the highest dollar injections by the Bank of Ghana since redenomination in 2007.
Thank you very much, Isaac Kofi Ejay, and he's the head of research here at Joy News. You're listening to the Midday News. Still to come, reigning champions in Fansipim School brushes aside GSTS and Mankrasu SHS to move a step closer to securing back-to-back glory at the National Science and Maths Quiz Competition.
My midpoint is the center. Yes, Benjamin.
The diameter.
Yes.
When I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with Kale Charcoal toothpaste. This gives me confidence all day.
Anytime you meet Amma, don't be surprised I smile showing my beautiful white teeth because I don't have cavity thanks to Kale Charcoal toothpaste for its natural charcoal properties. In fact, we are like twins. I can't go without my Kale Charcoal toothpaste.
That be why I dey use Kale Charcoal toothpaste morning and night when I dey go bed safe. It dey make my teeth white when it dey comot every scent from my mouth inside. My confidence level they go up, so I dey show my 32 teeth all.
Introducing the Kale Charcoal toothpaste, formulated with activated bamboo charcoal powder, ensures whiter teeth and removes bad breath. The strong natural property of the activated bamboo charcoal removes bacteria, absorbs surface stains on our teeth caused by coffee, wines, and tobacco. Welcome, Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Sankofa Yenchi.
Kale, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
The winning season is back, but this time I am collecting the wins like Jollof at a wedding. The luckiest season 3 is here. Your chance to flip your luck or maybe your bank account too.
2 easy ways to join. Dial *712#. Hit 1 to buy for you or 2 to gift a friend. Feeling lucky? Pick 1 for a random number or hit 2 to choose your own. Pay with mobile money. Done. You're in.
Or go to the luckiestafrica.com, click community tickets, choose your number or let the system do so for you. You can buy a ticket for your boo or your favorite barber. Pay with Momo or card if you're abroad.
1 ticket could turn your 1 Ghana cedi into 500 times more. And the whole community could win 10 times over.
Dial *712# or log on.
Let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
And you're welcome back to the Midday News. We have sport and Mubarak is here.
Thank you very much, Pearl. 4 straight wins have seen Aduana FC leapfrog Midday to the summit of the Ghana Premier League table. The 2-time champions now sit top with 18 points after 8 matches. However, the club's CEO, Collins Atapoku, says their main target is a top 4 finish and an FA Cup triumph to end their 8-year trophy drought.
The target is to finish in the top 4. We have never won the FA Cup before, so we have set our eyes on winning it. The last time we won the league title was in 2017, and we are getting close to 10 years without a trophy. We have told the coach to lead us into the top 4 and also win the FA Cup.
But the target is to be in the first 4 and then also win the FA Cup.
And guess what? Aduana's next match is against second-placed Midday Sporting Club. Back to you, Pearl.
Thank you very much, Mubarak. Now, the Minister for Education, Haruna Idrisu, has indicated that he's preparing to amend the Ghana Education Tertiary Commission Act, Act 1023, to allow more time for tertiary universities to acquire a presidential charter. GTEC in February 2024 gave a 6-month ultimatum to all universities, especially the private universities, to get chartered or risk shut down. The move has since sparked public debate over the quality of the certificates awarded by such institutions, as the universities also lament the high cost involved in the process. Now, appearing before the Public Accounts Committee, the Education Minister first indicated that he's taken steps to amend the GTEC Act to give the schools more time to do the needful.
Government is reviewing that position, and there may be a policy review of it to extend the moratorium, but certainly not to putting that not every qualified Ghanaian student has the opportunity to be admitted into a public tertiary institution. They will be in denial if we were to be high-handed in terms of the regulation. But that's what the law requires him to do. So I may seek a review of the law in order that we extend the period of the charter and then learn from best practice. What happens in Australia, what happens in the US or UK? How are those private institutions able to cope with the public tertiary institutions? But Chairman, the joy is that in Ghana, more Ghanaian students of that age are accessing higher education, and that's good for our country. Thank you.
Well, Haruna Idrisu also explained why the schools needed more time.
If, say, for instance, you are providing higher education in biology and you don't have a laboratory or chemistry or physics, then GTEC is not likely to support you to undertake that activity. So in the law which was passed by Parliament and Chairperson, if we did that, apart from the students who will be affected, Ghanaians in the private sector who are church-related institutions, whether it's the Catholic Church or is the Pentecost Church or the Presbyterian Church, which is providing higher legislation, but not to perpetuate it won't be forever and ever. Then you keep saying that, give me more time. It cannot be. But at least let's give them some time, because the challenge is how many students are there with a public tertiary education. So standards will not be compromised, but I think that we should allow them time and space to justify their expenditure and the training they are providing. Thank you.
The minister also spoke about the raging issues of the use of academic titles.
Chairman, this matter has been thoroughly looked at. The Director General of GTEC is acting in accordance with his mandate and the law, and recognizes that whoever is affected by it will be pronounced as he is doing. A number of it will refer to council, and they are looking at it. I'm awaiting a report from the GTEC council for a briefing. Then I'll come back to this house if you so desire.
This afternoon, the President of the Federal Republic of Germany, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, has arrived at the Jubilee House as part of his 3-day visit to Ghana. A short while ago, he was received with a full military guard of honor at the forecourt of the presidency. President Steinmeier and his host, President John Dramani Mahama, are currently in a closed-door meeting, with bilateral discussions expected to follow. Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Agbagba joins me via telephone with more. Maxwell, what more can you report from the presidency?
So the bilateral discussion between the two countries, led by the presidents of both nations, has started. In that meeting, from the Ghanaian side, we have President Mahama, Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Kutito Blakwa, Trade Minister, Energy Minister, Presidential Advisors Joyce Mokhtari, and Dr. Valerie Sawyer, and other top government officials. The discussions being held behind closed doors are focusing on strengthening Ghana and Germany relations, particularly in the areas of trade, investment, technology, and development cooperation. Now, there will be a joint press conference that should happen probably in the next 20 minutes after the bilateral discussion. And this press conference will be addressed by the presidents of Germany and the president of Ghana, John Mahama. A state luncheon will be held in honor of the German president and his delegation at the presidential banquet hall after. Later, that's on Tuesday, the German president is expected to travel to Kumasi, where he's scheduled to meet Santino II.
Maxwell Agbagba, Presidential Affairs Correspondent, thank you very much for that update from the presidency. Now, the first semi-final of the 2025 National Science and Maths Quiz Competition has set the stage ablaze with intensity and emotion. Ghana Secondary Technical School, GSTS, is chasing redemption as they seek to overturn their 2014 final defeat to reigning champions Infansipim School. Trailing by 6 points, GSTS is pressing hard to narrow the gap, while first-time semi-finalist Mankraso SHS struggle to stay in competition. Now, Infansipim, on the other hand, have stamped the authority on the contest, eyeing a consecutive appearance in the NSMQ Grand Finale. Now, let's go to the University of Cape Coast, where my colleague Carlos Frimpong is keenly following proceedings. Calling, is it a revenge or dominance?
Well, it's actually dominance. The contest just ended here with Infansipim picking 3 of the last 4 radios that were thrown at them, and they ensured that they opened a gap of at least 20 between them and GSTS, who were seeking for a revenge on Infansipim. So now we have gotten Infansipim to book their the first slot of the finals, and they will be hoping that the next 2 contests that will come up, they will get competitors in there. But Infansipim, hoping that they do back-to-back. We know that the only school that has been able to do this is Presec 2008, 2009, and also 2022-2023.
Thank you very much, Colin Strimpon, for that update. And that's how we end the Midday News. My name is Ofori. Good afternoon, and thank you for your time.
Hey, Ruben. Every 2 seconds notification. The Momo keeps on coming. It keeps on coming, eh?
Ma, I am the community Momo man now. People send money, and with the Momo app, every payment is done. My transactions are flying.
Hey, Adeng.
Ah, ma, you didn't know, eh?
Over 2 million Ghana cedis is up for grabs in the Stillman Saka promo. Transact more than 100 Ghana cedis with your Momo app, and you could win daily, weekly, and monthly cash prizes, and 100,000 Ghana cedis grand prize. And it's not just payments and money transfers. Bank to wallet transactions, savings, loans, investments, pensions, POS transactions, and Momo transactions from other partner platforms qualify. This promo runs in collaboration with the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Terms and conditions apply.
FPAC is effective for headaches and relieves the symptoms of flu, colds, and catarrh. FPAC blows away the pain associated with sore throats. During and after a hard day's work, FPAC relieves you of body pains. After the day's sports workout, FPAC helps the body to control the aching muscles. FPAC is effective against feverishness. FPAC reduces body temperature associated with malaria and other fevers. FPAC is effective against rheumatic pains. You can find FPAC in all pharmacy and chemical select shops throughout the country. FPAC is not recommended for children less than 16 years of age, ulcer and asthmatic patients, pregnant and lactating mothers. If symptoms persist for more than 2 days, consult your doctor. FPAC blows your pain away.
FPAC Junior follows in the tradition of FPAC tablets, a trusted friend to relieve your child of pain associated with teething, catarrh, cold and fever. The good that FPAC does for you, FPAC Junior does for your child. FPAC Junior is for children between 6 months and 12 years. FPAC Junior blows your child's pain away.
Accra, it's time to run together. The first National Bank Accra Marathon returns this November 8th, 2025. Choose your race: 21 kilometers half marathon, 10 kilometers fun run, or the corporate challenge. Whether you're a pro, a fitness lover, or running with your team, there's a place for you. Enjoy safe and mapped routes, free eye screenings, hydration points, and full medical support along the way. Sign up, represent your company, mentor young runners, and celebrate wellness with the whole city. The first National Bank Accra Marathon 2025, November 8th. Lace up, show up, and run for community. Dial *7